I wish you a warm welcome to our first ever virtual annual meeting. I am Griet, Dehandschutter, the Executive Director. We are so glad you can make it today and that we can come together to celebrate a transformational year. I started as Executive Director on August 1st last year. It seems oh so long ago. It was and continues to be a year full of unexpected happenings and so many firsts, many of which were very exciting and others quite challenging. I got a timely mandate to think and act big and bold. Today is a moment to take stock and explore where we are on our roadmap. The goal was to make this a building year, to strengthen our capacity so we can better serve our community. If anything, this year has proven the relevance of Acton-Boxborough United Way's mission. It truly takes all of us to come together to fight for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in our community. We've also learned the importance of an entrepreneurial growth mindset to adapt to changing community needs. We have a lot of momentum and we'll need it. The world is on fire. It is obvious that we have a lot of work ahead. We must come together as a community to make sure everyone is being heard. As a civic frontline community leader, words must translate into action. When someone cries out in a crisis, we step forward. When our town was reeling from a suicide crisis, we all came together and stepped forward. When COVID-19 hit our cash-strapped neighbors, we all came together and we stepped forward. And as we watched George Floyd being killed by abusive police officers, we can't remain silent. Black Lives Matter. We have to come together and re-examine our own organization and our own community and listen to the experiences of our neighbors, people of color. Everyone should feel safe in their home, in school, and on our streets. Acton-Boxborough United Way is ready to step forward and help galvanize our community to be better. I am hopeful. We are a resilient community. We are a can-do community. You've shown how deeply caring you are in the midst of this pandemic, whether you are a volunteer, a supporter, a resident, a public official, or an agency staff. You came through, and this is why we are gathered here today. We want to celebrate our community's can-do spirit. Today we are celebrating many of your contributions. You have proven that we can come together, we can tackle and dismantle barriers. Together we are most effective. It is my aspiration to come out of this crisis together with a stronger sense of community, more resilience, a sense of hope and belonging for all, and lasting pathways for collaboration among all of us here today. Yes, we are committed towards a more just, equitable, and inclusive community. This hour, we present the highlights of the year. Soon, you will receive a program in your inbox with a full listing of our board members and a link to the recording. And then in the summer, you'll receive an impact report with all data, photos, and stories. But now, I'd like to show you a brief video to set the tone for our meeting and for the coming year. Thank you to our On the Bright Side team, made up of Acton-Boxborough students Prisha Dayal, Elizabeth Lee, both board members, Elizabeth Soon and Dominique Papelia, one of our new board members, Joanne Nair, and guest narrator Neil Gordon, CEO of the Discovery Museum. You have done a tremendous job since the start of the COVID-19 crisis to shine a light on many ways our community has risen to the challenge. You'll see that when we work together and care for one another, there truly is a bright side to even the darkest moments in history. This video is a compilation from across the many episodes the team has filmed in the past couple of months. You can find the entire series on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Please follow us.
So hi, I'm Neil Gordon, the CEO of the Discovery Museum, and this is On the Bright Side, and welcome to On the Bright Side. So this show is all about helping people sort of realize that, coming together as a community is, sort of the bright side of an otherwise troubling, challenging time. From your perspective, what have you learned about, seeing the bright side?
Kindness.
A lot of kind people around.
Love and support.
The positive acts and the acts of goodwill.
Those local little homegrown ways that people are helping keep each other's spirits up, even from social distance.
The piece that I see that's a bright side is the way everyone from all walks of life and all different kinds of activities and skills are coming together to try to make a difference.
The masks from the Chinese community, the Hearts for Heroes, the COVID-19 Impact Fund by United Way. It's amazing.
And I'm just so grateful for, all the services from the school district to the town to the nonprofits. Their level of service and really being so thoughtful about making sure that we don't leave anyone out of this system.
The spreading love that people have expressed.
Kindness is the only one common thing in all human races and all humankind. So I'm really touched by how much people can do.
You seen any bright side in any of this?
Our staff here have really risen to this challenge.
The people on outreach. It's an amazing group of people.
The work that these nurses are doing, going in, each and every day, putting their lives at risk, and just doing great work to protect really the entire community.
A week or so ago, I walked into the hospital and they said it's a code happy. That means they're sending a COVID patient home that's been there for a while, and everyone cheered for this patient. It was powerful. It made me tear up. It was just really nice to see.
I think, as far as the most rewarding has been seeing how the whole community has come together and we're all working together for a common good for everybody in the Acton and Boxborough town.
Any challenge that comes towards us in the future, we will be able to overcome if we all live united.
Has there been anything particular that you'd like to share with us that you've observed or seen or experienced that's sort of a positive of all of this?
Seeing the birthday parades.
There was one right down the street from my house the other day, and I went out and watched them go by. Everyone in the cars, as well as the fire truck and police car, had a great big smile on their face. They were doing something a little out of the ordinary, but making someone's day brighter and also brightening up their own day.
A lot of the churches and synagogues that have stepped up to provide support for those vulnerable populations.
There's 90 individuals who have no problem coming every week to cook a meal for strangers, basically. Those are our heroes.
I noticed there is above average community service and donation that came from the Chinese families and communities which they have never served before.
Overwhelmingly, watching the number of people right now in our country rising up in peaceful protest in support of our communities of color and Black lives has really been inspiring for me.
Through the tough times, we will persevere. We are AB strong and we're all united and we will get through this.
Every day, I feel privileged that I can serve our Acton and Boxborough community and that I can work alongside each of you. I would like to start our celebration by thanking our outgoing president, Christina Wischlik. I would not be standing here today without Christina's support. Christina agreed to take on the role of board president last year without knowing at that point that Rachel Sagan was leaving after an impressive decade of service. Christina has shown tremendous grit, resilience, commitment, courage, and steadiness. In a momentous year for Acton-Boxborough United Way,
for our community and the world. In her usual professional and calm manner, Christina initiated the search process for a new executive director. Once selected, she encouraged me to think big and bold. She supported me in leveraging the vast resources of the United Way network. Christina stepped forward. Stepping Forward is the title of a book written by Richard Harwood that we introduced together to the board on our first board retreat. It encourages communities to come together in today's divided environment, to think outward focused and to work collaboratively. Christina donated the Stepping Forward books to the board and embraced close listening to our community's needs. On top of supporting me and our many communities during the transition and leading the board in good governance, Christina took on the role of Acton-Boxborough volunteer liaison in the AB Cares Coalition. Christina's contributions to the AB Cares Coalition, including a voluntary gun buyback program that we launched this fall, are making a difference in our community. Christina helped me through staff transitions, and she contributed enormously towards building AB United Way's capacity. She and her husband Bruce funded the purchase of a new cloud-based database just in time, it turned out, to launch the COVID-19 Impact Fund. She encouraged a full update of our entire office infrastructure. These are just a few of Christina's lasting accomplishments. She went above and beyond in moving our vision forward. Christina, I am deeply grateful. You deserve tremendous applause, and you will be missed.
Thank you, Griet, and everyone on the board. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm Christina Richlick. I hope that you're all safe and healthy. If you're feeling uncertain, you're not alone. Despite the hardship, I see hope as we have really come together as a community during COVID-19. While it has been a tremendously challenging time for everyone, I'm so proud of the work that AB United Way has done to help our neighbors in need during this time. Mobilizing volunteers has always been a great part of the AB United Way tradition. I want to start by saying a big thank you to our outgoing board members. You and all of our board members have gone above and beyond in terms of being generous and sharing your time and your talents. Thank you to Karen, Faith, Krish, Bill, Ruma, Judy, Lisa, and Cheryl. Several of you stayed on an extra year to support the transition. Let's hear how you made a difference.
Hi. I'd like to talk about Karen Carl, who, if I'm counting correctly, is leaving the board after 6 years, and during that time served as treasurer for 4 of those years, and then served as secretary during the past year. She was my predecessor as treasurer and helped me significantly both in learning the job and even after I took over as treasurer this past year. Karen helped me make sure I didn't make any mistakes, and also served as a sounding board for me where I could check out new things I was planning to make sure that I wasn't running off the tracks. So I really enjoyed working with Karen. She helped me a lot. I think she helped United Way tremendously, and she will be sorely missed. So I'm sorry you're leaving, Karen, but good luck, and thank you very much for your service with United Way.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I feel so happy and honored to thank Faith Erickson, who is an outgoing member of the United Way board. And Faith has really done a lot of wonderful things for the community, and she has helped change United Way in a way that is truly for the better, including things like pulling sponsorships for all the events that can really help connect the community and pull us all together, and also helping with community suppers, which is a really important way to help unite all the different people in Acton-Boxborough. Another thing that she did was really nice, which was that she initiated to be the host of the Live United House Party, which was scheduled to be last year and is now postponed to happening soon this year. And it's just her generosity that really affected me, how she helped with all the things that made United Way a better place. Thank you, Faith.
I'd like to thank Bill Hickey for his service on the ABUW board, as well as the subcommittees for grants and the hiring committee for the new ABUW executive director. Bill had great thoughts and insights, and his experience as an attorney was really helpful in all of these processes. Bill, we wish you well. We're glad that you're still our neighbor from our ABUW offices in West Acton, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thanks so much.
Ruma Nioji. I first met Ruma 2 years ago around the table as a new United Way board member. Since then, I've come to realize that Ruma has many talents, but is an especially gifted hostess and a talented home chef. She's used these talents to our benefit numerous times over the years, including hosting a terrific house party and donating fabulous dining experiences to our silent auction. In addition, 2 years ago at Casino Royale, she and her husband brought a new game called Teen Pati to the event and spent the entire night teaching people how to play it, playing it, and engaging with guests. It was a huge success. Ruma, we appreciate all you have done and will miss your smiling face around the table and now on the Zoom screen. Thank you.
Hello, I'm honored today to be able to thank Judy Rowland for her time on the board of directors. Judy's a warm, kind person who's dedicated to this community and did a lot of work as a volunteer before joining the board. She's a financial professional and she brought her business skills to the board. She actually introduced Griet to Steve Steinberg. And thanks to that connection, we received a $100,000 capacity grant, which is our largest ever from the generous Steinberg Lally Foundation. Judy was also in charge of sponsorships for Casino Royale, our largest annual fundraiser, during a transition year. She had less time than usual to obtain sponsorships, but she worked hard with the campaign team and volunteers to make sure that we secured some great sponsorships, and we ultimately met our fundraising goals. Judy, you've been an amazing contributor, not to mention really fun to work with. Thank you.
Hi, Krish. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years, and even harder to believe that it's been probably 20 since we first met when Rohan and Adam were on the same baseball team, or t-ball team, really. We're going to miss you on this board. You've been a great addition. Your calm leadership, your insight, and your devotion to the cause, in particular, your devotion to enhancing the diversity of our board has been great, and you'll be sorely missed. Very much appreciate it, and thank you again for your service. Take care.
Hi, I'd like to thank Lisa Pratt for her service to the board of directors. Lisa's been involved in Acton-Boxborough United Way for years. She's a full-time marketing executive, but always has had time to dedicate to this community. She was co-chair for the last few years of our biggest annual fundraiser, Casino Royale, which is always just an amazing event. A lot of fun and a great way to connect with people. So in addition to that, this year she joined me as the first co-chairs of the communications committee. And I've really just loved working with Lisa. She's just such a great sounding board. Always had awesome business insights and great ideas, and sort of helps prioritize and make sure we were getting the most important work done for Acton-Boxborough United Way together. She's just a joy to work with. And I just want to say thank you, Lisa, and we'll miss you.
Hey, Cheryl. Thanks for all your support in getting acclimated, helping me through the initial stages of learning the ropes of the United Way. I can't begin to describe to you how meaningful your support has been, and how much I'm going to miss you, especially with all the events. I'm sure you're going to take part in them again, and I look forward to it when we can all be face-to-face and not just on Zoom calls. So I'll miss you. Thanks again. Bye.
We live in an incredibly supportive community, and there's never a shortage of volunteers. This is especially true as we experience the COVID-19 crisis, which has enabled us to do what we do best, convene organizations, individuals, and businesses to take on big challenges in our community. Today, we want to thank all of the volunteers who have dedicated your time and your talents to supporting residents who need it most. This year, more than 130 volunteers dedicated countless hours to the community through a wide range of AB United Way initiatives. We could have never done it without you. We are excited to announce 2 Volunteer of the Year awards, Linda Moineau and Jen Orcutt. Linda Moineau, a longtime Boxborough resident, has been involved as a volunteer for the AB United Way over many years. This past year, Linda stepped forward by taking on the daunting task of transitioning our data from an outdated desktop database to a new cloud-based system. It has taken an extraordinary amount of behind-the-scenes problem-solving and unglamorous database cleanup. The database project is a linchpin in our capacity-building effort. As an active member of the Outreach Committee, Linda is never shy to bring different insightful, strategic perspectives to the table and is ready to jump in as a volunteer for many events. Jen Orcutt has been supporting AB United Way for more than 15 years in a variety of roles, including as a former board member and for the last 4 years as a chair of our Outreach Committee. When the pandemic hit, Jen and the Outreach Committee's more than 18 volunteers stepped forward to assess vital community needs. Jen led the effort of a subgroup called the Eggs to help ensure that the money from AB United Way's COVID-19 Impact Fund was being distributed to the residents that needed it most. Always with a smile and lots of diplomacy, Jen challenges her committee to think outward and embrace inclusion. You can read more about Linda and Jen in your program that will be in your inbox soon. On behalf of the AB United Way Board, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done for our community.
I'd also like to thank the generous corporate sponsors and foundations. Many are core supporters of our community building efforts. Several also participate in our annual Day of Caring. Year after year, Acton-Boxborough United Way is inspired by the generosity of dozens of local small businesses like Hittenet Sport, Kitchen Outfitters, and Home by Stem and Black, as well as local branches of larger companies such as Workers Credit Union, Enterprise Bank, and Roche Brothers. When we call our local companies to sponsor an event such as Casino Royale, we get an enthusiastic response. You business leaders know the work we do directly supports our fellow residents. You want to contribute and you're proud to participate. To all of you, our sponsors, our community builders, our supporters and friends, thank you. We are now here to help you during COVID-19. We want to give back to you as you are struggling, as many of our small businesses are struggling. We also want to recognize the large contributions of corporate foundations. This year, the Boxborough Qualcomm team, which in the past has participated in our annual Day of Caring, donated $20,000 through the Qualcomm Foundation to our COVID-19 Impact Fund. We're also excited to announce that the Middlesex Savings Charitable Foundation has donated over $12,000 towards the redesign of our website. This year, our community has also benefited enormously by receiving the largest donation in the history of Acton-Boxborough United Way. In January, the Steinberg Lally Charitable Foundation donated a $100,000 capacity building grant that enabled us to increase our staff from 1 to 3 full-time equivalents. When we look at the sheer numbers of volunteers and businesses that generously donate their time, their talents, and their money to support our community, the phrase, "It takes a village," comes to mind. In Acton and Boxborough, we clearly have what it takes. We are in it together. Thank you sincerely to all of our supporters. Please help us welcome these new employees who joined us thanks to the Steinberg Lally Foundation. Shana Brown, our administrative assistant, and Kirsten Lynch, our part-time financial manager, both joined shortly before the COVID-19 crisis. Not only did they need to ramp up quickly to meet the huge increase in demand, but they had to do it virtually. These women have passed the trial by fire with flying colors. They're setting up new policies and procedures and are bringing new technologies into our daily lives, making the work we do much more efficient and effective. Thank you to Shana and Kirsten. We're also very excited to introduce you to our new Communications and Volunteer Engagement Manager, Katie Neville, who went to AB schools and grew up in Boxborough. She will be joining us in July. And now I'm going to hand the mic, so to speak, back to Christina to start off our presentation of new officers and directors.
Thanks, Griet. I'm excited today to welcome Karen Collins as our new board president. Karen has been an active board member running our nominations and onboarding committee and serving on several search committees this past year. I've been working closely with Karen the last few months as she's been transitioning to take over the president role. And I know that her calm demeanor, caring personality, and continued enthusiasm for our mission will serve the Acton-Boxborough United Way well into the future. Karen, thank you for stepping forward.
Thank you so much, Christina. I really appreciate it. I've learned so much from working with you, and I'm grateful for the time we spent together. Most of all, I'm grateful to have you as a friend. So thank you so much. For my first job as president, I would like to introduce our incoming new board members. We have Ashwin Anand.
Ashwin Anand has agreed to share his analytical, legal, and data talents. He is our co-chair of the Grants Allocation Committee. Fubali Banerjee, we welcome your creativity, such as with the diaper drive and advocacy on inclusion, on outreach, and the campaign. Joanne Nair brings tremendous communications and marketing expertise and is supporting our student production team with ABUW on the bright side. Carol Bassa has engineered streamlined processes for the COVID-19 grants and for the interagency collaboration. She's been an amazing contributor to the Food Security Task Force and outreach during COVID-19.
And finally, Anita Tang. Anita, thank you for sharing your expertise in finance and taking on the role of Vice Treasurer. Next up is our year in review. It really has been an extraordinary year. I'm so inspired by our community's generosity. You have stepped forward in amazing ways, increasing our revenue from $220,000 to $540,000. Your in-kind volunteering and fiscal support makes a huge difference in our community every single day. Our fiscal year starting in July got off to a great start. We continued our popular annual community events like Casino Royale and the Day of Caring. We also initiated some exciting all-new events, like our storytelling evening focused on belonging, which filled the West Acton Gallery to capacity. Also, our well-attended community conversation with Dr. Ruth Pote on tweens, teens, and addiction. I want to take a minute and zero in on just one of these events so you can see how important and meaningful they are to our community. Here's a video of our Day of Caring, which took place last October. We had a great turnout with more than 90 volunteers from area corporations and civic and faith groups.
It's Dan Klein. I've had the incredible pleasure of organizing this event for the past, counting this year, 5 years.
The whole idea is to basically bring people and organizations together to serve the community, and it's only we can live better together if we live together, if we live united. And so today is really a community building day where we bring everyone together to serve, to beautify, to prepare food, and it is a wonderful opportunity across the community to bring businesses, organizations and people together.
I am here at the Acton Senior Center with
Joy Aguil, and I work for Minuteman Senior Services, and we run the dining room and all of the Meals on Wheels for the communities of Acton, Boxborough, and Maynard. 20 some odd years ago, I did my first day of caring. For me, it's great because I am only here so many hours a day. I can have extra help for the things that I just can't get to.
And we're here at the Acton Housing Authority.
I think it's a really nice way for the community to come together, both the business community, the philanthropic community, and organizations that work to help people in the towns of Acton and Boxborough.
We're here now at the Mount Calvary Lutheran Church, where every week they serve a community supper to 100 people.
We have, the kitchen is always in active use on every Wednesday, and we try to do a very good job of cleaning it every Wednesday, but once a year we really need to have everybody look inside every single cupboard and get it cleaned.
I like the Day of Caring. I find it very satisfying to help and contribute my energy to something to better the community.
I'm with Nick Malos at the Discovery Museum.
The Day of Caring is one of the best things that we have going on here. The projects are never too big for you guys, too small for you guys. You're always ready and willing to do whatever we ask of you. We look forward to having you guys every year because you guys send some of the biggest numbers that we have, and it's much appreciated.
So there you have it, the 2019 Acton-Boxborough United Way Day of Caring.
While we had to cancel many of our spring events due to COVID-19, we were able to adapt and continue our service to the community while introducing new virtual events such as this annual meeting. With COVID-19, we have arrived in a new place. Now let's switch back to Griet for more insight on the impact of COVID-19. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Because of COVID-19, we postponed our annual community impact grant allocation process to the fall. Each year, we give grants to more than 20 local agencies that directly serve Acton and Boxborough residents in need, in the general impact areas of health, education, and financial stability. For the time being, we'll continue funding current grantees through the end of this year. The program we'll send you soon will detail the grant allocations and the amazing direct service agencies we are able to help fund thanks to your generosity. Last September, we were brainstorming how we wanted to build a stronger community support network among our grantees and other community partners. COVID-19 propelled us forward. Conversations turned into rapid action task forces, weekly meetings across organizations that in many cases never met before, with the goal of truly combining resources and ideas. We are deepening that collaboration among all nonprofits, the public and the private sector, for the common good. Isn't it ironic, now that we can't meet in person and are in fact limited in getting physically connected, we are actually better connected than we ever were before. Throughout this crisis, AB United Way has been doing what we do best, convening organizations, individuals, and businesses to take on complex challenges in our community. Only now, during COVID-19, we are learning to do it on steroids. Urgency has created innovation and a willingness to collaborate and think outside the box. We are breaking down barriers and silos. We are learning that when we let those barriers go, we are each succeeding more. The best illustration is the food security partnership we initiated between the public and private sector. But before we get there, let's get back to the onset of COVID-19. As the country shut down, we recognized the need for a strong community support network during COVID-19. The board was ready to be bold. We developed a COVID-19 action plan. On March 24th, we launched the COVID-19 Impact Fund. We created, distributed, and continue to update emergency resource information from all our agency partners to make sure that they and the community had the most updated information. We began to reach out, something that United Way never did before, to residents in their languages to make sure that no one would be left behind. We raised more than $175,000 to help neighbors in need. many of whom never needed help before. Uber drivers, food service staff, local businesses who were forced to furlough or lay off workers and staff. We knew local financial needs would increase dramatically, but we learned just how seriously impact local families would be when we saw the results of research the New York Times published in April on the long-term consequences of lost income, and overlaid that information with Acton-Boxborough income data from our most recent census. Let's see if you can guess the answers to these financial impact questions. Get your mouse ready. I'm going to ask you 2 quick multiple choice poll questions. They will pop up on your screen. Your answers are anonymous and we'll see the results instantly. You have 15 seconds to answer each question. Here's your first question. How long would it take for a household, you think, making a total of $50,000 to $70,000 a year to save 1 month of expenses? Now, choose an answer, 1, 2, or 3. Okay, the correct answer is 3. An average household of more than 2 people making a total of $50,000 to $70,000 would need more than 2 years. More than 2 years to save 1 month's worth of expenses. Here's the next question. Are you ready? How many households in Acton-Boxborough earned less than $50,000 annually before the pandemic? Choose 1, 2, or 3. Again, you have 15 seconds. And the correct answer is number 3 again. Yes, 1 out of 5 households in Acton-Boxborough earned less than $50,000 a year before COVID-19. So if 20% of AB households made less than $50,000 per year before the pandemic, and you consider that many of these residents will have lost work due to the pandemic, even temporarily, you can imagine that it will be a very long time before a lot of our neighbors recover financially. These are the residents that will need support. This is why we focus on financial stability during COVID-19 and throughout recovery. As you may know, most United Ways across the country only give grants to agencies. But did you know that we are one of the few United Ways that also give grants for residents in need? We had to develop criteria and procedures to make sure we can distribute a higher volume of funding for residents who need it most in a streamlined process. We work closely together with our town social workers, faith groups, and other agencies to do so. We want to help families keep a roof above their head and get food on the table. As federal and state pandemic funding ends, and as the economic situation does not improve rapidly, we expect the financial needs in our community to continue to increase over many months to come. The COVID-19 Impact Fund supports residents and families by providing $1,000 emergency grants to pay rent or essential bills. These crucial grants are part of a larger toolkit that our town social workers have to support residents in need. We are guiding residents to call social workers. We are hoping to fight the taboo to ask for help. Our town social workers help to find work and apply for state and federal benefits. We are sensitive that some residents feel very uncomfortable contacting public authorities. So therefore, we are not asking any citizenship status related information, nor do our food distribution partners. We are working with all local faith leaders to encourage residents who are afraid to interact with public authorities to apply through faith groups. We recognize and hear their fear. AB United Way's grants are accessible regardless of your citizen status. No questions asked. We are currently processing our 30th request, helping to keep a roof over the heads of over 100 residents. We continue to encourage COVID-19 donations and will until this crisis is over. We're working hard to reach out to residents who don't speak English and those who never thought they needed help. And we encourage them to apply for grants. We are actively distributing public service announcements through many channels, and it is exciting to see that town and faith groups and all other groups are sharing this message. Please spread the word. Tell your neighbors if you can think of anyone who may need extra help during this crisis to visit our website, abuw.org, to learn about resources in many languages. And remember, they can contact social workers or faith leaders. In addition to resident grants, we also support local direct service agencies with the COVID-19 Impact Fund. The first round of grants is going to our community partners focused on food security, who had to change their business model, including Open Table in Maynard and the Stowe Food Pantry, both of which serve many Acton-Boxborough residents, as well as Mount Calvary Community Supper and Neighbor Brigade. Neighbor Brigade matches volunteer drivers with agencies to deliver meals and groceries to the residents. It's a partnership that Acton-Boxborough United Way helped develop. And now, Marie Altieri, Deputy Superintendent of the AB Regional School District and AB United Way board member, will share the work of the Food Security Task Force, which she's been leading since the beginning of April.
Thanks, Griet, and hello, everyone. I am so excited to see all of you here and to share the work of the Food Security Task Force. This group is deeply connected to the needs of our local food resources because of the Food Security Task Force, which AB United Way was instrumental in initiating, which I convene every week. We have several members of the task force with us today. Thank you for coming, and it's great to see you. The general philosophy of this task force is if residents don't have to worry about how they'll pay for their next meal, they can use that money to pay rent and other essential bills. The Food Security Task Force is a truly amazing and innovative total community collaboration. Virtually every public and private sector organization that helps to feed our community is involved. Just look at all of the organizations that are working together. Since March, leaders from the Food Security Task Force have been meeting once a week to compare and share food supplies and resources, to problem solve and to learn from one another. If one organization has been offered free food supplies but has no freezer space, then another organization can step forward and provide freezer storage. If one group is not getting the support they need from the Greater Boston Food Bank, someone else can step in and help to find alternatives. If one organization can accept free food but does not have the means to transport it, another organization can provide vehicles and staffing. If any of these groups need assistance from outside our community, people like State Senator Jamie Eldridge is at the meetings and can help as an advocate. Thank you, Senator Eldridge, for all your help and your hard work.
Fortunately, every Friday there's a food insecurity meeting like this, where everyone that touches human resources in either Acton or Boxborough attend this session. An opportunity took place late in the week for food that had to be picked up at the Groton school and transferred to another location. And there were 31 plus items that equated to about 4 to 5 meals for 125 people. But quite honestly, we had no space to store that as well. But because of that call and because of Carol Bussey's help, we were able to get freezer space that day at Acton Congregational Church. So we picked up the food, we moved it to the church, and now we have enough food for, like I indicated, 4 to 5 meals.
This is a living example of silos being broken down. Any leader on these task force will tell you that through this collaboration, their individual organizations are better and stronger and more capable than ever to make sure that every resident in our community feels secure that finding food will not be a problem. Today, over 700 households are being nourished by free food resources in our communities. This is a 65% increase from March, thanks to the Acton-Boxborough schools, the Acton Food Pantry, Open Table Maynard, and Mount Calvary community supper, our community is able to provide a steady flow of breakfast and lunch bags, boxed groceries, dairy products, and prepared meals so no one ever goes hungry. Special thanks to the Neighbor Brigade, who has provided volunteers for all of these groups, including delivering food to those who need it. The increased volume could not be managed without the Food Security Task Force, which is dedicated to making sure no one has to decide between eating or keeping a roof over their head. The Food Security Task Force has been in place for just 2 months, and the ripple effect is quickly spreading beyond providing food to a wide range of resident-centric services. We are able to use this collaboration to stay in tune with what our community needs and find the resources to meet those needs. When we learned that families going to the food bank wanted books for their kids, we collaborated with local library groups to gather, package, and distribute kids' books. When we learned that an agency needed diapers for their clients, we secured a donation and distributed cases of diapers. When we learned there were people who needed food but didn't have the means to pick it up, we organized free delivery through the Neighbor Brigade. We layered information distribution on top of all of these initiatives. With every bag of food or books or diapers, we provided a comprehensive list of community resources, including access to resources in the many languages of our community. The work the community has done through the Food Security Task Force has been foundational. It was born from a crisis, but the network and capabilities are here to stay. A similar system is being developed between the towns of Acton and Boxborough. AB United Way is now a proud participant in weekly coordination meetings between the two towns, the schools, and the community, and a new level of public and private collaboration is the result. For example, the Acton Police now serve as a central drop-off point for the PPE donations. An Acton-Boxborough United Way grant and resources information is now shared through town and school channels, including public service announcements on our local radio station, which is becoming popular among seniors. This collaboration is in its infancy, but we believe this connection will yield many more exciting results in the coming year.
Before we close, we want to invite you to our upcoming events. As they are virtual, you have to register to get a link. Join us for our fun Eat, Play, Love cooking decorating evening. If you register by this Thursday, June 11th, you'll receive your decorating materials at your doorstep. No need to go to the store. And the event takes place on June 18th at 7:30 p.m. We're also starting virtual community conversations around the theme of Life Interrupted. How can we support each other in coping with the mental health stresses of the pandemic? The first event of the series is supposed to help parents support adolescents. It will take place on Sunday evening, June 28th. And as we nimbly worked on an action plan for COVID-19, you will hear more in the coming weeks and months about AB United Way's plans to address racial inequality, equity, and diversity. Change starts at the grassroots level. We believe we can apply our nimble and novel collaborative approaches from COVID-19 to help address this critical, complex community issue. And now I want to say thank you. Thank you again so much for joining us tonight and for your interest and support of Acton-Boxborough United Way. Please join us now for our Bring Your Own Drink social. Meet old and new friends, board members and directors, as if you were walking around at reception. In closing, I want to share some thoughts for the coming year. The pandemic has brought our community together, and for that, we are truly blessed. I believe that the fallout will be long-lasting. And as federal and state assistance flows, more and more of our residents will need help. We are bracing for this and we are ready. And thanks to our generous community, we've been able to raise funds in preparation. Thanks to the willingness of so many public and private sector frontline civic leaders across our towns to collaborate closely, we've established a beautiful safety net. We are proud to call Acton and Boxborough home, and we are in this together. As we end our official program, I want to invite you to stay on for the Bring Your Own Drink reception, right here. To all of you who joined us tonight, our board members wish to share one farewell.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dank u.
Thank you.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
谢谢.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now it's time to party.